Hi there. I'm Kevin E. West, veteran television actor, as well as the president and founder of the Actors Network. We congratulate you on your choice to purchase an ABG video. Our mission? Quite simple, to provide you with the best entertainment education from top Hollywood professionals in the industry. By doing so, you potentially save yourself thousands of dollars as well as years of your life making silly mistakes. ABG videos can be assisting to parents of performers, longtime veterans, as well as beginners. And do trust that the information found on an ABG video is both accurate and cannot be found in one place anywhere else in the world. So with that said, we'll just let the video speak for itself. Enjoy. Hi, Jami.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
Oh, well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Do you think you're ready for actorbizguru.com?
I am.
SAG eligible. Why is it dangerous for actors to lie about it? And what is your professional opinion with regards to actors committing to SAG instead of remaining eligible?
The only danger I would say is if you're not SAG eligible, but you put SAG eligible on your resume, and then I go to cast you, and you're like, well, I'm not eligible, I'm not really yet, then you've lied to me. And I don't appreciate that. However, if you're the right one for the part, then I will help to do the Taft-Hartley and try to push it through. But I do appreciate when people have it on their resume if they are SAG eligible and ready to work, because it's also awesome to give that person that job that'll help them get into SAG, which is great.
What is the issue if someone is SAG eligible, but they put SAG on their resume?
I could get in trouble with the union because they're going to say, well, why are you casting this person who's not yet in SAG when there are a million other actors out there who have already done the work or in SAG? So I don't need problems with SAG. Who needs problems with SAG? And you have to be ready. If you are SAG eligible, be ready to put that money down. You have to have that money saved so that, because if you are SAG eligible and I give you that job, you're going to have to go and pay before you get on set. So you better have a little nest egg ready to pay for it.
And that's the point about lying about it if you're not SAG. When your booking happens at 6 p.m. and you have to be on the set the next day at 6 a.m.
Well, there are ways around it, but there are ways around it. I think you have like a 48-hour waiting period. But like if you got stuff, if you're booked for 2 days straight and you can't get to the SAG office, we are screwed. And it makes us look bad. So don't do that, people. Please don't do that.
So lying about being SAG when you're eligible, bad. Lying about being eligible when you're not, really bad.
Yeah. Why lie? I mean, okay, I know people like to fudge a little bit, but come on.
This is not
I'm no dummy. Yeah.
Okay, but what is your opinion about an actor who is eligible and has the money to join and just not waiting for the must-join situation to arise?
You know what? In this economy, if you can hang on to your money to put it elsewhere, then do that. I mean, if you're SAG eligible legitimately, to me, that's like you're in SAG. You know, like I would bring you in because I know, okay, if you book the job, then you'll just go pay the money. And you have to be ready for that. But I also know how hard it is out there. So you should have that money put aside. But listen, if you've got money just coming out of your ears, go join up. Why not? You know? But if finances are an issue, don't put all that money out until you have that job ready to take it.
Very good.
Go buy yourself a nice sushi dinner before you go join SAG.
Now that we've crossed fully and completely into digital casting land, how do you find it for yourself, Jami, with regards to you trying to create professional relationships?
Well, there's two sides of it. Partially, I'm excited not to talk to some of the people that I had to in the past. However, it also I've found that it's kind of sad that I don't have those like human connections that I used to have over the phone with people. Everything's digital. I hate to lose the human aspect of what we do, because I think it has become almost too digital to the point where communication is you lose it's the humanity. I love people, and I'm one of the nice ones to talk to on the phones.
Are you active in any way with, let's say, a junior agent at Gersh or someone innovative in that you might try to make an effort to meet them in person?
Just recently, and actually, it's a lot of the agents doing their job and saying, we should get together and meet. So it's not me, like, I don't need to go out and call the junior agents and go, we really need to meet and have lunch. But it's beneficial to them to call us and say, hey, let's do lunch. I mean, we just did that recently with an agent who had just moved to a new agency and was like, so I'm going to be covering you guys now. Like, we should meet, have lunch, and, get to know each other.
If they did it more often, would you be okay with it?
Yeah. I always like meeting people. And also, I mean, listen, it's always fun to see what people look like. You have your whole visions of people over the phone. It's funny, like, I've worked in this business for a long time. And there's people where you meet them and you're like, really? That's what you look like? Or, oh, hello. You never know. But so it's I don't know. I'm human. I like the human connection.
On the reverse side of that, have you sort of found that representatives who maybe are younger and have grown up kind of in the internet world are less proactive to the human connection?
Probably. I think it's a mix. It's funny because I also find at some agencies, they are annoyed with the digital thing. Like, I don't want to check email and it's hard and da-da-da-da-da, so can you just give me the appointment? I'm like, well, because it is a time saver. It is an amazing time saver. I kind of adore it. Yes. Then I can go have my sushi instead of being on the phone for 2 hours.
So clearly, Jami, social media is here to stay. It's taken over the world, Twitter, Facebook. What is your general opinion on the most errant mistake actors make from their chair to yours? And what is your biggest recommendation on how actors really should use social media professionally?
I think there's always like a line that can be stepped over or not. And because, like, let's say Facebook, and I've talked about this with you, with Facebook, it is also a personal space for people to share things. And like when I started, I didn't realize what it was for. I mean, I was one of the early Facebook users. And I was like, ooh, okay, anyone can be my friend. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I have 1,500 friends. I don't have 1,500 friends. And I would say 75% of those are actors, which I was like, and I'm a pretty open casting chick. So I'm like, friend, okay. And then I realized as things got personal, like my old casting partner, she would make jokes because I would post something on Facebook. She's like, it's always funny to me because the 10 comments are always like almost all actors. And so I think actors who are trying to make more of a personal connection with a casting director through that way can become a little bit off-putting. And I finally got my crap together and started a page like my Jami Rudosky casting group page, which come one, come all. I will take any actor. It'll be fun. It'll be like my little game to see if I can beat other casting directors and get more actors on my page. We can start a competition. I'm competitive. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I've found that a lot of actors recently, I was casting a project and I got so many Facebook messages from actors saying, hey, I want to come in, I heard you're casting this, I'd like to come in on it. And it got to be too much. And I was like, when did Facebook become the new breakdown services?
They literally posted, I want to come in for your project on your personal Facebook page?
No, on my projects, on my casting projects. So they obviously are like, oh, Jami's casting something. Let me send her a note on Facebook and see if I can come in. And these are people I don't know, like that are not my friends already. Right. And so I'm like, let's go through the proper channels. And I get it. Listen, I get how hard it is out there. And so I know that people are just doing whatever they can to get a foot in the door. And I get that. But the more and more people that are doing, it's becoming off-putting to me, and it's getting to the point where, because I think the other thing is because I'm such an open person and really nice, and I think people get that sense like, oh, she's totally cool, but there's a line, and and also, okay, it's fine if you send me a note, but don't send me a note and ask to be my friend. You can just send me a message. You don't have to be my friend. We don't all have to be friends.
Okay, so the way electronic submissions work, the submissions made by a representative with a demo reel get sorted for you at the top. So does that mean that you watch all of the demo reels for every role, for every project, for every submission you get? And while I'm sort of joking with that, clearly you don't. What percentage of them do you actually watch?
Yeah, so I would say I rarely watch them, honestly, because I could get 1,000 submissions for one role. So what I usually do is I go based on pictures and resumes first. I literally don't have the time to watch demo reel after demo reel after demo reel. If for some reason I'm like, what's up with this person? This person might be right. Let me see if they can do the comedy and check out their reel real quick. But I would honestly say out of, if I got 100 submissions with reels on them, maybe I watch 2.
2%.
2%. Yeah. And that's, not to say that it's not helpful to have those up there, because if I needed to go that extra step and I was on the fence, then it's awesome to have it there. And, sometimes it's like I might know you, the actor, but my director, I'm trying to convince my director or producer, so I'm like, here's their link. Boom, watch this. Just hire them. Trust me.
So more of a necessary backup, but in no way a given.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay, Jami, let's say you're auditioning a role, not for a lead in a film, but like a good supporting role, or not a series regular, but a top-of-show guest star type of role. What circumstances or why are you okay with an actor wanting to start their audition over if they feel they need to? And in all truth, how many times would you be okay with an actor starting over if, let's say, the scene was only 5 pages long?
I am always 100% open to someone starting over. I don't care if it's one line or 5 scenes. If an actor starts the audition and is not in it or whatever it is, I would much rather you stop and say, "Can I try that again?" rather than go through the whole audition knowing in the back of their head like, "Oh, I screwed up, but I'm going to keep going." But I can see it. I can see what's going on in that head. So now asking to start over 3 or 4 times is a bit much. Like, let's get it together, and because we don't have a ton of time, but I'm 100% open to asking to start over.
Okay, so what is the actor experience in the room with Jami Rudosky if they get into asking to start over for a second time?
I will probably make a funny, sarcastic comment. No, it's like, okay, I think we're good. I think let's wrap it up. Good job. Like, okay, I think we're done here.
So it's like dating and like guys not knowing the obvious understated code for what I'm really saying is no.
Yeah, I mean,
Your time is done here.
yes. Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes it's just about people continuing to chat, not having nothing to do with our audition. I'm like, okay then. Yeah, thank you. Good to see you. Take care.
How do you, Jami, or how would you respond to an actor who finishes their audition and without being asked, asks you, "Hey, I'd like to do that again in a different way"?
Well, it depends. Depends on how open we are and who I'm working with. Sometimes we'll say, yeah, let's give it another shot. Or otherwise, a lot of times the director will say, you know what, no, it's all good. I think that was great. I got what I needed to see. Thank you so much.
And that could be the actual truth.
100%. People, sometimes it's like, please don't do it again because you were so awesome that you might lose what you just had. You should walk out the door now. I had that experience on Gilmore Girls where an actor came in, read the part, left, and the session was over and we were discussing and we were like, okay, we're going to hire that guy. And then my partner went out to do something, and he was lingering and he's like, can I do it again? Because I just felt like, and she's like, leave now. Just leave now. It's all good. You don't need to do it again.
How long was he lingering?
A couple minutes. Or maybe there was a little knock-knock on the door, which I hate the knock-knock, by the way. I hate a nice knock-knock after your audition. Uncomfortable, the knock-knock.
Who does that?
Couple people who, you got to walk out that room. feeling confident or whatever you're feeling, but just walk away from it. There'll be other opportunities. If for some reason you feel like it wasn't your day, that's okay.
Jami, if you were casting another television show tomorrow, with regards to the technology changes, how would you determine whether or not you should pre-read an actor anymore with all of the online capabilities out there? And do you feel that at some point pre-reads may eventually become a thing of the past?
Oh, absolutely. Those are things we look at too, believe me. Absolutely.
Sure you do.
Yes. Because the chatty ones that are like, and then I was on the freeway and da-da-da. And we're like, okay, we're not going to need that energy on the set. Thanks for coming. We don't tell them that, but, you know.
So does that ever cross your mind, especially in television, that this particular actor might just be too needy and you wouldn't want them on your set when they have only 5 lines for the entire shoot?
I hope not. I hope not, because for me, pre-reads is a way to get to know an actor, like, outside of, you know, because when they come into a room with the producer and director, I kind of sometimes become obsolete because it's really about the director and producer who they want to meet. I like to, you know, when I do pre-reads, I get to know an actor a little bit better. You know, I think our the pacing is so fast in this business that a lot of times, you know, we don't have time for pre-reads. I mean, I know when I worked on Gilmore Girls, we would get the script the day before we started shooting. But again, it's that human thing. Like, I wouldn't want the pre-reads to go away. I like meeting new people. That's how I find new actors. I'm not going to base new actors just on their demo reels if I don't know them. You know, demo reels will help, absolutely, but I like the opportunity to just meet new people that way. Will they become obsolete? Maybe. They might, because of the other thing is there's ways that people can put themselves on tape for things. You know, people are doing it themselves, right?
That's what Matt does.
Yeah, and so then they have the opportunity. That's kind of their pre-read, and I've brought people in based on that. Like, I've seen they're like, I'm just going to throw this down. Now, I'm not saying I want 200 actors doing that, because I'm not going to have the time to watch all those.
So you're saying that you doubt that a demo or a recorded audition will ever replace the need for an in-person pre-read audition?
Not that I doubt it. It's a possibility.
Right.
I would prefer that that's not the case.
Right.
I mean, not that it's not the case, but I just like meeting people.
But if an actor records the material and you see it, it could actually lead to you giving them a pre-read.
To bring them in immediately.
Skip the pre-read.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I did that recently.
Here's the big one everyone wants to know. When you're in between jobs, or let's say even on a job, and you're sitting at home at night, how much time do you legitimately spend just randomly looking online for new talent, considering how easy it is to do now with all of the technology and the websites, et cetera, et cetera?
I would say a total of 0 seconds.
I'm shocked.
When I am done with work at the end of the day, I'm done. The way I go out and I'm out socially a lot. I see a lot of theater. That's where I see new people. That's where I find, but yeah, I mean, unless I'm like, it's not that I'm searching for new people if I'm watching, you know, Funny or Die, or it's not like I'm searching. It's just something I enjoy doing because I like to laugh with my glass of wine at the end of the day. But yeah, no, I am not spending 1 extra second looking for, I mean, that's not how I would look for new talent.
So even in today's world, you would rather go spend 2 hours seeing live theater and maybe see 10 actors as opposed to sitting at home online and in those same 2 hours being able to see 100?
100%. I'm a theater whore.
Because usually the answer is 0, Jami. No theater, no online at all. So clearly the way to get to you in LA is do a play.
Well, I cast theater. I love theater.
So if I want to get to you,
go do a play.
So in a 1-hour drama theatrical television show, Jami, you commonly have a casting director, a casting associate, and a casting assistant. So what is the normal or typical protocol to go from an assistant to an associate, and then go from an associate to having your own show?
I would say, an assistant, I think, is more, does the, what do you call it? Like the paperwork and stuff. The what?
The administrative task.
Yeah, administrative. I couldn't think of the word. Hi. Yeah, they usually do the administrative stuff. Making the jump from assistant to associate, like for me, for example, my process was, as I was saying, I am very active in finding new talent and going out there, and I do workshops. I find a ton of talent that way. Also through plays and stuff, and so I started as an assistant with Megan McConnell and Janet Gilmore, and I kept bringing them actors, and I became passionate about learning who actors were. Once you have kind of a handle on, because some assistants come in and they're like, I don't know who that is, I don't know who that is, I don't know who that is. I was so passionate about casting that I would do my research. I would find out about actors. I would learn who people are. I watched a lot of TV. So then I had all these actors in my wheelhouse, and it got to a point where they were like, we need to move you up because you can be in the room in the auditions. They trusted me to handle the auditions. They trusted my taste because they found I had the same kind of taste that they did in actors. So it's kind of, there's nothing concrete that you can say, okay, now you're an associate. It comes with time. It comes with spending time learning actors and all that. But you have to be in a position where you can make decisions, and you don't necessarily need, Megan and Janet got to a point where they're like, we trust you. Just bring in whoever you think is right for these. And, it started off with them letting me cast the smaller parts, the bailiff and the this and the that. And then as time went on and we were working on more projects, we were doing 3 or 4 other shows. And so the practice kind of became my baby. And a script would come in. As an associate, I would get the script, break it down, make a list of like, here, 10 people I would think would be good for all these parts, and hand it to them. They like, great ideas. Let's highlight these and bring them in. And then the jump from associate to casting directors, it's again, it's hard to say, but like thankfully, Janet and Megan gave me so much responsibility that it got to a point where it's like, there's no room for me here because I can't move up anymore because it was already the 2 of them, and I knew I could do the job on my own. I knew how to do the deals. I knew a ton of actors. I learned. It's also the art of learning how to deal with producers and directors. That is an art in and of itself, and being confident and coming off confident and saying, I know how to handle this job. I can do this.
So in a 1-hour drama theatrical television show, Jami, you commonly have a casting director, a casting associate, and a casting assistant. So what is the normal or typical protocol to go from an assistant to an associate, and then go from an associate to having your own show? So do you then go pitch yourself to the network executives to get your own show?
Yeah, and we just, with Gilmore Girls, I was very lucky and fortunate. I partnered up with Mara Casey because we were both in the same place. Like, we got nowhere else to go, so let's try to do this together. And went in, somehow we had an agent at the time who had heard that Gilmore Girls, the people that cast the pilot presentation, weren't going to go back to the series, and they kept looking for people. And they wanted some young people to come in with fresh ideas, and that was us. So we got it. And yeah, that was my progression.
Okay, Jami, on number 10, I want you to address all 3 of these. Why is it today harder for an actor to get an audition if they have no credits, if they have a Kevin E. West type resume that has a lot of credits but not a star, or even how difficult it is for someone who's been a series regular on 1 or more series shows, and they still have a tough time getting an audition? Why?
The business has changed a lot. I think stakes are higher for studios and networks as far as getting bigger name talent into parts. It's like, how big can we get for our series? For everything. Like, even, I cast theater, and it's still about trying to get names, which is hard. Talk about a hard job. That theater casting is tough, but I love it. Anyway, so, it's a trickle-down effect. So pilots say, it's like go big or go home. They want big names on their shows. That's what's going to sell to, that's what advertisers want. The bigger the name, the better it is. So then people who were like series regulars who were like, oh, I know that guy. I've seen him on this and this and that. Those guys, their parts are getting taken by the bigger guys. So then they're like, okay, vying for the guest star parts. Yeah, it's like, okay, let me try to get those guest star parts. And they're like, wow, that series regular, that guy was on that series he'll read for a guest star? Okay. And then, which means some of the guest star actors who work fairly regularly, get guest stars here and there, then like put down into the, smaller parts and people just need to work and get their hours. And so you find that someone's like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll work. And it is hard. And I'm in the same boat. Same trickle down effect for me. Feature casting directors are taking TV shows because there's not a ton of TV shows, and so those, I'm like, I consider myself like the guest star casting director. Like I was a series regular on a show for 7 years, and then like the recession, all this stuff happened, so then the feature people were taking the series regular roles. The series regular casting people were taking the, guest starring stuff, and so me, the guest star casting director, has got to take some co-star jobs. And it's all good because some of the jobs and I will say this, some of the smaller jobs I've taken have been so rewarding. And you know what? You never know what those jobs are going to lead to. And sometimes you have to put your ego aside because you never know who you might be working with who are like, oh my God, this guy, like, we're so lucky to have this guy for this part. And when I do my next show, the director might go to another show and go, oh, you know what? I had this great guy on my show. This is who we should have in this part. It's what I would like to quote Terrence Howard from the movie. What was that movie? I don't know what it was called, but
Hearts War, Crash?
No,
Which one?
It's hard out there for a pimp. That's all I'm saying, people. It's hard out there for a pimp.
Hustle and flow.
Hustle and flow. It's hard out there for a pimp. That's all.
So it's not your fault?
It is not my fault. It is the way the world is right now. Money is so tight that when people are going to invest money into projects, they need to get like the best product in order to get their money back. And they think putting in big name actors, recognizable actors, that's what's going to get their money back. And I will say there's less product out there, and a lot of the product is the same recycled product that you've seen. I mean, how many TV shows are out there that are coming back from the 70s and 80s that they're recycling? And it's like, we need something fresh, and there's not a lot of that out there.
That's it, Jami.
And scene.
Thanks for being on ActorBizGuru.com.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. Another outstanding video from an outstanding professional in Hollywood. I can't tell you how much this information would have meant to me if I could have gotten it before I moved from Atlanta back when I started my career, or even if I could have gotten some of this stuff in the first couple of years that I lived in Hollywood. But I can tell you this, you now have it at your disposal, right at your fingertips. Be sure you take advantage of it, because whether you live on Sunset Boulevard or whether you live in Sydney, Australia, the Actor Biz Guru Library will save you tons of time and tons of money over the course of time. We look forward to seeing you again. Take care.